If you want to see me swatch the Norvina Mini Volume 2 Pro Pigment palette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. We are going to play with this little guy. This is the second of the 9-pan palettes from the Norvina line from ABH that I am swatching. The first one was the Volume 1. I'm doing them in order. Taking the plastic off, and this is what it looks like. And I'm excited for these, for most of the colors. These two guys right here, I love mint green, I love yellow, and I am really enjoying the idea of that burgundy there. And this one does intrigue me. It has some subculture vibes to it. So let's get to swatching. Now I am going to swatch on this arm today. It's 9 colors, so it'll be just fine to use. And then because it's only 9 pans, I'm not going to use my pinky today. I'm going to use these 3 fingers so that we can get nice wide full swatches. So I'm going to start off with this top row right here, the first 3. And let's see what happens. And there was a little bit of damage to this pan when I got it. There was a little bit of breakup of the shadow. Happens a lot with mattes, and because it was just along the edge, I'm not too concerned. I don't think it's going to break on me, but I guess we'll find out. So let's get to swatching. Okay, first 3 fingers, very neon-like, hey? Let's see what it looks like. Oh, managed to get some on the back of my finger. Not sure how that happened, but oh wow, that green is something else. That's nice. Okay, very neon, very neon. That's neat. That's neat. I don't see that many companies doing neon shades, so I'm really digging that quite a bit. Okay, back for a second go. I always like to double swatch. We don't usually just go in once with our brush when we're doing eyeshadow, so I want to make sure. I managed to get some green into the orange there, so I'm just going to clean that up. Okay. That green is a bit crumbly in my palette. Okay, so here we go. And that, I can just tell it's going to build up so nicely. Yeah, look at that yellow. For such a light colored yellow, look how it builds up. The white base must be pretty darn good on that one. Well, apparently it is, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can get the intensity I would like, the neon intensity I would like with this palette. This is so nice. Okay, very nice, very nice. And the fingers. Wow, okay. That is really interesting. This palette, this number 2, it was not my favorite, but I have to say, the performance of this top 3 makes me very excited for the next 2 rows. Of course, there aren't really any neons. These 2 might end up having something similar to the top, but somehow I don't think so, but I could be totally wrong. All right, we're going to go into the orange, into the first shimmer, which is kind of a beigey shimmer, and that very deep green, turquoisey green. Okay. Now, the 2 oranges next to each other, that's a good thing. Do a little comparison. It has neon type attributes as well. But definitely deeper. I don't mind it so much. Not big on oranges. Okay, this one is very light. Maybe would be a good topper. And let's see how it builds up. I guess we'll find out. Whoa, okay. Okay, this is definitely not a color I'm that partial to. I could use it as liner. I don't think that I would put that as eyeshadow on my eye. I see other people do it, and I think that they do a good job, but it's just not kind of my cup of tea. I say that having the Invasion liner from Urban Decay, but that one's quite a bit deeper, so I think it offers a different kind of effect. All right. Let's build that up. Yep, builds up nicely. Now that kind of goldy beige. Yeah. I think it's like a little shimmer enhancement to another color. Okay, so yeah, definitely what I would call a neon palette as the driving force of the color story. And the saturation on the colors is irrefutable. It's there in droves. So that's nice. I do appreciate how pigmented the colors are. And here I am wiping. Look at how much is still left. It's got some staying power for sure. Wow. I'm wondering how these are going to come off the eye at the end of a day. Ooh. Okay, I have slightly stained fingers, but we're going to go into the third row, which the third row for my preferences really makes the palette. This guy, love it. I enjoy this kind of color and I enjoy this kind of color. So this is my type of row. Very, very nice. All right, so let's play with these. And the fuchsia does look like another neon color. Yeah. And that green, okay, that green is kind of on the messy side, pretty chunky, I was gonna say glitter, but pretty chunky shimmer. And then we have the matte brownie, it's like brown with a hint of burgundy. Okay, so let's see how that looks. I could be wrong. Okay, those two look very nice together, side by side. That's good. And now this one is going to be a flaky mess, I think. Okay, no, it spreads quite nicely. Gosh, that's beautiful. And finally, that deep brown. Oh, it's not as deep as I thought it would be. I was going to say burgundy, but it's maybe like brown with a hint of salmon in there. Okay, let's go in a second time. That is so nice. So nice. Wow. And that fuchsia, I just expected it to be a nice representation of itself on the arm. Here we go. And let's see how it goes on the second pass. Oh, I barely touched the arm. That just went on so nicely. Yeah, the intensity of color is so there on that green. And the brown. Okay, so what do I think? I am definitely going to go into this palette for the greens and the yellow, especially the neon nature of this palette. I'm pretty impressed. I am unlikely to reach for this palette for a whole lot of other reasons. Can I do some looks with it? Yep. Am I excited super about doing looks specifically with this palette and this palette alone? No. I'm not as jazzed about this color story, but I do know for a fact that some of the colors in this palette are memorable because without even opening up this palette, I knew what was inside. So the yellow and green left an impression when I first became aware of these palettes. And so I knew that I would be picking this palette up just for these colors, seriously. And so because of that, because that was my expectation, I'm not stuck with feeling like, well, I can't use more than half the shades. It's okay. It's okay. I'm good with it. So the colors that I would use, I could see, like I said, that on the lower lash line I could see. This one, fuchsia in the crease, I don't have an issue with. Brown, don't have an issue with, although it's kind of on the warm side. I prefer cooler browns. And then these two greens, yep. This yellow, yep. And the oranges, I'm just not huge on orange. And that's just, that goes no matter which palette it is. I just don't tend to use oranges all that much. I like the quality of it. I think you can definitely do some bright interesting looks, no question. But yeah, we all have our preferred color stories, and I would go for specific colors with that palette. That's it. And that's okay. I will go and fetch a given palette because I know that there's this pink that I want, or there's this pearl that I want, or a dual chrome that I think would look good with another palette. I do that all the time. So it's not a big deal to have a palette for specific colors. Works for me. Now I do happen to have the Norvina Mini Pro Pigment Palette 1 on the other arm, so I might as well just show you the two stacked. I'll put this one up top because we've been playing with it right now, but I thought I would just show you the overlap. Now the fuchsias are pretty similar, but I would definitely say that the orange and the flamingo are quite different. I call these two flamingos. So there's no duplication there on the palettes, and of course the number 1 has quite a bit of purple, whereas the number 2 does not at all. And the shimmers are really, really different. So I would say that apart from the fuchsia, you really don't have any overlap between these two palettes. So that's pretty good. If you are looking to get all three, then the overlap is really, really minimal. And I'm only talking obviously about the first two. I'm not showing the 3 on this particular video, but I will show all 3 when you get to the volume 3 video. I will have them all stacked for you so you can see them all in one sequence. So look out for that when you see the volume 3 video. For now though, that is it for this swatches video. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm out to lunch? Do you have some favorite combinations because you've been using it already? I would love to hear. And you will see a first impressions of this palette from me sooner than later. I hope. I have a lot on my plate right now in real life, so I'll see what I can do. But I will definitely play with this palette regardless of whether it's one of my favorite color stories or not, because sometimes when you put a set of palette shadows on the eye, it transforms the way you think about a palette, right? So I will reserve judgment as far as, well, I guess I gave you my opinion, but it may change once I do the first impressions. I will stop talking. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.